Hello and welcome to my channel. We're coming to you from Masulu.com, home of online internet advertising, and it's totally free, by the way, to use. What we're doing is a series of videos that will describe not only the forms that we provide at Masulu.com, this guy right here, as shown in video 2, but in this case it's the interaction of the form with PHP, as well as the PHP sending all the information to a MySQL database. I don't know if you have a different type of database. Some of this may or may not apply. It is PHP, so keep that in mind. What we've done from the last video is we have added this box. This is the results box. Now, it looks like they're on the same page doing the same thing. They aren't. This is not related to the other at all. This box over here on the right will be filled with information sent to a database from this box. So let's take a look at that. What we have here is we have the same connection. We have a variable called contacts, and as you can see here, this contact variable creates HTML, and it feeds the HTML with the different items in each time you send in that form. So let's go down here. Now, once you create this wonderful thing that does all this work, you go down here and you have to make sure you put it into your PHP, which is right here. This is, without that, it won't do anything. If I were to block that off, you could do this all day long. It would never show any of it. So make sure that's part of it you want to see. But I think the easiest way to describe this is to actually do an example. So let's just put in here, we'll do a gym test, we'll do some email, and no messages to be seen. No messages here is fine. And then we're going to do a send. And what that does is that loads all that information into a database, and that puts it back out here. If you don't believe me, what you can do is reload the page, and you'll see there's nothing in the form, but that is still going to load up because that is right now sitting in a database. That's important. That's what makes the difference. Now, the form obviously is very simplistic. In a lot of cases, you just want people to send you something like, hey, I like your site. Hey, your site doesn't suck. And yes, I'm sure you'll get one or two of those. So, basically, it loads from the last one to the newest one, and it will keep going down, and this will actually turn into a scrolling page. I could have made the box bigger. I really don't care about that. So let's take a closer look at what it's doing here in order to give you this information. So up here, we're creating the div. We all know what that is. If you do any type of HTML, you know what a div is. This is your PHP. And what it's doing, I should change that color. I do not like that at all. Oh well, another video for that. It's going to what's called the contact form info, and this is the table we created up above. I don't know if you remember when I used to have it listed up here. This is the one that it created. I also changed the status. Instead of note 1, it became status, and I changed note 2 to note 1. And at that point, what it does, it says it's alive. If I want to get rid of one of those, I can also call them dead. Hang on one. So what I did is I went in here and I changed one to dead instead of alive, and you'll see it kicks it off. Now you can have buttons that say that their only job is to say, okay, I've already read that one, we don't need it anymore. And I do use that basic theory in a couple things I do. So keep that in mind. But you'll see here a slight pause. I actually stopped the video and go in and change things back around. And now it's back. I made it alive again. So furthermore, let's take a look here. Once you go through the select process in the PHP, oops, 1 minute. I see something got screwed up right there. You hit these buttons, you never know what you're going to get. Hang on just 1 minute. I'm pretty sure I've totally messed up this video at this point. It's actually the editing software that's giving me the most trouble. But as you can see, we changed this back to the actual table name. Let's move forward. What you're going to have to do is get the results, which is a query. This is, by the way, done in 8.1, I believe. It's done a little bit differently than it used to be done, the way it's laid out. This, for instance, is your connection. and you made that up here with all the information that you put in. And this information, by the way, I'm sure if you're here, you probably watched the first couple videos, came from this include, which is this page right here. So don't bother going there. You can't read the information. It won't put out anything. It'll be a blank page. So what this says is that if there's anything that fulfills this right here, anything that's alive, this tells you that it's alive. So in other words, you pull the res out of there. Here it goes. Well, there's more than 0, which is obvious. 0 means there's none. If there isn't, then basically it's going to change some things here. It's just going to say no results. And I'm sure that was what you saw in the beginning, what we had put out there. That's because I hadn't entered anything before that. 2 parts to the div, and that is the first one. And this is its outside div. In other words, open and close. So we take the contacts, we add something to it, we go contact plus additional. So here we do that each time we feed this. We go through here and fetch an array. That's what that stands for. We extract that particular array, and it does it one at a time. And in this case, we do it, which is the default setting, which I believe is ASC. Up here I could put DESC. Let's try that now. Now I'm getting sidetracked. So we create, each one of these creates its new div. So it says basically, I want these basic things in there. I want to do a label with the date, which is a variable from that. And you could see that when I made the database. I wonder if I should put that back up there. Well, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Here you got the label for the name, and that's the contact name. Next, you have the label at the same position but further down the row, of the email address, like that. Then you want here. This is what's called a text area. This is not a text line of text or the text that you normally see, or the input that you normally see. This is actually a text area. It allows you to make a box, basically. And that box is this little guy right here. In this case, you could change it so it can't be adjusted, but in this case, I left them, like, you can move them around. It won't hurt anything. It doesn't change anything at all. So some of this is the basic HTML, and you should know that before you really get started, at least basic HTML. So what it's doing continuously is over and over, it's going to build this form or this response here to here, over and over. Then this count says that's enough of those. Then if it's greater than 4, it will kick back. And you know what? I just realized I don't need this. This right here, you're witnessing this firsthand. So, let's just do that. We don't need either one of those. What this was is there was a coloration I used, and for a different form, and I don't need it on this one. So we can save that. That'll be fine. And it'll do these as long as it has a new row to put in there from this array right here. It will continually build them over and over and over. And that's why you see one stacked on top of the other. You can also see that they have their own positioning. This information here, here, and here are the 3 things we put into the database. For another one, we'll put in there Baby Jane. How's that? Baby Jane? I just like that movie. And we'll do Betty, whatever her name was, at, I don't know, Betty Vision. Oh, Vision. And this is set up as a email. If I don't do this properly, by the way, you can do that like this, and then let's see if it actually works. That unfortunately doesn't sometimes. So, and see what it says. Yeah. So this one did work. That's cool. So let's just Betty at Betty Vision dot. Let's do all. She's all business. So .biz. And this side message doesn't work. Isn't here. I guess that'll work. Whatever. As you can see, I really make this stuff up on the fly. I really couldn't care less. So Now I changed that, and now we got a third one in there. That's Baby Jane, Betty Vision.biz. The dot should be there. I guess I skipped it when I filled that out. It's working on the other two, so. And then this is what you put in. By the way, these are live. You can take this and write whatever you want in there. It doesn't matter if you redo the image or the page, it's gone. Now you can update these things as you want, but you have to tell the computer to do that. Now all this information sounds real handy and real easy, but there's one key that's missing, and I'm sure you've already figured it out. There is a form that you have to make this function. And that form is the action of the form itself. That page is called formResponse.php. In the next video, that's what we're going to show. We're going to show form response, and that will be example 4. I think that's the 4th video. And we'll go from there. I know it's been a lot to absorb. Feel free to watch this more than once. It would not hurt you to do that. If you don't know anything about HTML, learn it, and it'll make your life a lot easier when you're trying to do these things. I could hold your hand through it all. But honestly, if you have no idea what I'm talking about by now, because I really did take this pretty slow, then you're going to need to watch this more than once. So anyways, thank you for watching, and we'll go back to you. Thank you.